bat hibernation season. Numbers of bats in the UK have dropped dramatically over the last century, but Nottinghamshire Bat Group are doing their bit to protect the bats still living in our county today. From how to make a bat box to advice on what to do if you find an injured one, they're the sorts of knowledge when it comes to keeping these precious creatures safe. Group member and bat expert Angelena joins us now to tell us more. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for coming on. Thank you for bringing my pin badge as well.
Yeah, a little gift.
Little bat pin badge. How are we doing for bats in Nottinghamshire then? What's the population like?
Oh, so we're doing actually fairly well. Obviously, absolutely, like you mentioned, numbers are have gone down dramatically over the past years. But interestingly, since I joined the Bat Group, actually, we've seen the amount of species we have increase, which is fantastic news. I'm not personally claiming it.
All the bats have come back.
Yeah, there's loads of new species. No, but it was really great. So years back, we had a local project called the Nottinghamshire Bat Project, and actually the Barberstyle bats are quite a rare species. And so yeah, we found them not only here flying around, but actually roosting now in Nottinghamshire. And there's more about that in a book we released as a group called The Bats of Nottinghamshire.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where would they roost then if they were rare? Where are we likely to spot those?
So they're often tree-dwelling species,
right.
And so they will move around their roost quite a lot. But the thing about this Barberstyle bat is they've got a nickname about being like whispering bats because they feed on moths. So you can't always pick them up so clearly on a bat detector. But as, of course, technology has improved, we've seen more and more of these species turning up. And yeah, we've got some all right records now here in Nottinghamshire. So yeah, so it's really interesting stuff.
Now we're in November, it's getting colder. We just saw a programme about the gritters coming out soon. So what are bats doing in November?
So now in November, so bats, up until recently, were starting to fatten up. So before it gets too cold. So most of us, all our species, in fact, here in the UK, are insectivorous bats. So in other parts of the world, bats can eat different things, but yeah, only insect-eating bats here. So because there aren't many insects about, because it gets so cold over winter, our bats decide to go into torpor, which is hibernation. So in October, they were mating, as well as trying to fatten up as well. And so by now, and of course...
October sounds like a brilliant month.
Yeah. And so the ladies generally do a little bit better than the males because they're really focused on fattening up.
Right.
Whereas the males are slightly more focused on the other aspect of October.
Okay.
So that's why it's so important now over these next few months while bats are in hibernation to, of course, not disturb any bats you might see. So you should never, of course, disturb a bat. But hibernation is particularly important because every time a bat might wake up, of course, if it's not going to replenish its energy stores, that could be detrimental to bats.
Okay, so we talk about bat boxes and creating bat boxes. So should they have already been made, or can we make them? And yeah, I mean, if we don't disturb bats, what do we do with these boxes? How do the two work?
So the bat boxes, as long as you're not going to knock it into an already existing bat roost, then you wouldn't be disturbing bats by putting up a new bat box. And so that's a great thing you could do to help bats. So because of habitat loss, so things like trees, like I mentioned, these Barberstyle bats. So because we've seen a decrease in the amount of trees, some bats have decided instead to roost in human man-made structures. But not all bats like that. So bat boxes, it's not a perfect solution, but it does offer the ability to give bats another alternative. So some bat boxes mimic what might have been what a bat would use in a tree, so whether that's flaking bark or woodpecker holes and stuff like this. So putting up a bat box is a great thing to do. So you might want to put it on the side of your house. You might want to put it up in a tree. You can vary what you do, but what is important is once you do put the bat box in place is, you don't want to disturb it because bats are a protected species. So
you can't go peeking.
You can't go
so
peeking.
Tempting.
What you can do, though, is you could sit back, especially in the summer months, and you could watch the bat box. So whilst you're in the garden, you could sit back and you could see if you see any bats flying out because that wouldn't be disturbing them. So same if you had a bat in your house.
Well, we see bats in our lounge. You look out the window and they come out. And
brilliant!
I don't know where they go.
So if you maybe in a nice evening time, if you could sit back, have a drink, you could watch the house. So that's what some bat surveyors do to figure out where bats might come. Sometimes people find it a little bit boring because you are essentially just staring at a building or a tree. But once you do find out where they come from, you will be so excited and you'll be able to count bats coming out. Yeah. And you could even, if you decided to, and it's a really important survey that happens nationally. So this is not from the Bat Group. This is the Bat Conservation Trust has the National Bat Monitoring Programme. So if you think you've got a bat roost in your house and signed up to this survey, year by year, people actually can sit back and count bats.
I love the idea of sitting back with a glass of wine. You say, well,
I wasn't going to say, but yeah.
I'm working.
I was going to say, but definitely, a glass of wine would make it an even more fun survey to do.
Any excuse. And how can we, what if we find an injured bat? What should we do?
So, if you found, like I mentioned, it is, bats are protected, so you shouldn't go around touching bats or protected bats. But if you did see an injured bat, so sometimes cat attacks especially, can be something that we find a lot with the Bat Group. And actually we have a team of dedicated people in our group, the Bat Care Brigade, as they are, who actually do help. So if you find a sick or injured bat, of course, don't touch it, don't get involved. The best thing to do is to ring the Bat Helpline, which you can see. So that's run, again, by the Bat Conservation Trust, which is the national charity. And then they will get in contact with a local person from our group who can then come and help collect the bat. We'll try and nurse it back to health and then release it again.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, thanks. That was fascinating.
Yeah.
Thank you so